Avon is starting to prove me wrong. This is the second Avon item that I have found recently that sells for good money. Now, do not auction stuff like this off. You will be cheating yourself out of money more than likely. I might run 6 auctions a year. The items that I sell do better as buy it nows with best offer, and I found that most items do better as buy it now. The only time I'll run an auction is if something has a very high sell-through rate, I have the only one available, or I have a highly desirable item, but the condition is not comparable to any of the comps, like it has cigarette smoke or it has a rip or something like that. I love selling vintage linens, and it's really rare that I find them new in the package, especially a flat fitted and the matching pillowcases. These are twin size. This is something similar, not the exact same pattern. I am asking $50 or best offer for each of those, and I paid $8. This was my cue to leave this garage sale. This is what those are currently selling for. They are listed for around $75 on eBay though. I have never found one of these Wearing Pro double waffle makers. Now he is asking $30 for it, and there was nowhere for me to test it, so I was kind of iffy on purchasing it or not. But these sell for around $80 on average. Some will sell a little bit higher. Okay, so he ended up selling it to me for $20. So not too bad. These have a really high sell-through rate, so it should sell really quick. I'm going to price it to sell. So this little jewelry box is still a mystery to me. I have not gone through everything in these drawers yet. This is definitely a project for this weekend. Worst case scenario, this jewelry is worth absolutely nothing. I can still sell this jewelry box for around $35 plus shipping, which is super crazy to me because about 10 years ago, these were probably the ugliest jewelry boxes known to man, and they would never sell. All of these clips come from a 3-day span of 2 community sales and then a day of just garage sales local to me. And I hate recording and showing you guys me picking through everything. I like to just show the highlights of what I pick up and how much it's going to sell for, but let me know in the comments if you want me to show my process and me going through everything. I saw this baddie from the road. I knew exactly what it was. I sold one of these recently. This one's way bigger than the other one that I sold, and this one sold a lot faster too. This sale was only like 2 miles from my house, but it was a dead zone, absolutely no service, so I just picked these up. I figured $1.50, it was worth the chance. They don't sell for very much. I'll be lucky to get 20 for this set. This was part of a community sale, but they called this a living estate sale, and everything was outside in tents and then outside in a really big pole barn. And when I first walked into this tent, I thought for sure I was gonna find a whole bunch of stuff, hit a home run, just because look at how much stuff is in here. Now, I didn't end up finding too much in here, but I will show you what was available. Their prices were a little high, to say the least. This was a family-run estate sale, and I'm always hoping for the best with those, but recently the family-run estate sales that I have been to have been very overpriced. I think a lot of that has to do with just lack of basic knowledge of what items are selling for. So most people will run to eBay, and again, lack of knowledge of how to search for what items are actually selling for on eBay. They just see the listed price and they don't realize that you should look at the sold prices to see what items are actually selling for, and then probably price them a little bit lower than that because your audience is not as big. I do end up finding the beauty products, and I pick up a Clinique Compact. It's to cancel out redness on your face, and then I'm just going to cut to the good part. They're asking $50 for this Magnalite roaster. This is one of the bigger ones. This one is a 13 quart. It does have the trivet little pan thing down at the bottom, and it's very clean. I have never found a Magnalite this clean. Most of them that I find, I cannot see my reflection in. This one just needed a little bit of cleaning just to sparkle it up a little bit. I'm a very assertive person, but I just cannot bring myself to ask people to lower their prices on items that I plan to sell, especially when I know how much I'm going to sell them for. $50 seemed really high for me. Usually I would not pay that much for something at a garage sale, but knowing I can sell this for around $200, I picked it up. Going full circle back to the beginning of this video, this piece right here that's $5, this is Avon. Anything that is Avon Christmas fiber optic, you want to pick it up, especially if it's only $5. I have sold that exact same scene probably 3 times over the last year and a half, and it always sells for around $80. I always have my black light flashlight in my purse for this exact reason. I thought for sure this was gonna glow, and it did. And it's only priced at 50 cents. Now this looks like an ashtray, I'm going to assume. And I think what I'm going to do, uranium glass, not all of it sells for good money. Some of it is hardly worth anything. So I might put together a uranium glass lot by the end of summer. Now I do need to look up the pieces that I've bought so far this summer just to see if any of the pieces I have bought are valuable and should be sold by themselves versus in a lot. I didn't record the other one, but this is the second Mr. Coffee iced tea maker that I bought this day. Now if these don't work, just the pitchers will sell for $20 to $25, and this one is priced at $5. This little girl at this sale was so cute. She gets Salesman of the Year award for sure.
Sister.
When you guys were little?
We were really little.
Yeah. Those are neat. Did you?
I really liked this one because of the sink and this. And then when you would put it on here, it would light up like right on.
Oh, like it was really cooking something? Yeah, I like this dolphin.
It came with a cup, but we lost the cup.
I only ended up paying $1 for this, and the graphics screamed 90s era, so I went ahead and picked this up. Of course, I found a comp for $20 when I was at the garage sale, and now I can't find that comp. I wasn't too sure whether or not I should pick this cologne up. I went ahead and grabbed it. I didn't have any service over here, and it wasn't that great of a pickup. Now this one I left behind. This has a very low sell-through rate, doesn't sell for very much. I decided to pop into some thrift stores after garage sailing. The first thing I had seen when I walked into this store was this Marc Jacobs Violet perfume. I paid $30 for this. This is the first time I've ever seen perfume at this thrift store, and I go to this one about 2 times a week for the past 10 years. I also picked up this eyeshadow palette. I'll sell this one on Mercari. A couple of the pans have been used. There are ways to disinfect makeup, so people will purchase these. Now, I will list mine for somewhere around $20 or best offer. This soap ended up being Avon. I went ahead and looked it up just in case, and it wasn't worth very much, low sell-through rate, so I left that behind and popped over to Goodwill. Now this bag caught my eye. I sold something similar to this last summer for $80. No, it was $50, and it sold almost instantly, and then I had people messaging me after offering me close to $200 for it. So this one I decided to list for $150 or best offer. It's 100% leather, and it's definitely from the 80s or the 90s. It has a really good shape, and again, the colors, just everything about the bag, I think I can get somewhere close to $100 for it. Y2K items are very popular, and Baby Phat is like the poster child of Y2K clothing, and some of their handbags sell for quite a bit, but then the prices drop off drastically, so you have to be really picky on what you pick up, and that bag had quite a bit of damage to it. I hate to see items like this at the thrift store. I can't pick this up because it's not worth anything as far as resale value, but the graphics are really neat. It's vintage, but again, these puzzles just don't sell for very much. Even if I were to buy both of these and lot them together, the profits aren't worth it for me. Now, I looked through this stack of puzzles just to see if there's anything else that is worth anything, and they do remind me of my childhood, but none of these are worth very much as far as resale value, so I do not pick up any puzzles. If I bought everything that I thought would resell without looking it up, I would be in big trouble. So I thought for sure that this invisible horse would be worth something. And even when I opened it up and I noticed that it was in used condition, I thought for sure it would still be worth a couple dollars. I watch quite a few YouTubers and TikTok resellers, and a lot of them resell these Breyer horses, and I'm always looking for them, and I have never found any. Now, I know this one's a Barbie horse, but she isn't worth anything. I do use Google Image a lot. So if I'm looking at something like this horse and I don't see any markings, but I can tell it's a really nice quality, I will take a picture of it with my Google app and search with the picture, hoping to find a little bit more information. But again, none of these horses were worth anything, so I don't pick up any horses as well. And I should note that this is a different day thrifting. If you notice, I have pink nails in these videos. This sanitary panty I did pick up. I knew that even if it wasn't in the box, I was still going to pick this empty box up just for the graphics. That box had some really cool graphics. Anything that has to do with firming your face, getting rid of wrinkles, always look it up. A lot of times these products are worth some really good money. Now this one was incomplete, so I did not pick it up. I don't even remember if I had looked it up that day, but I will throw up some comps for you guys on the screen. Okay guys, so that's where I'm gonna end this video. So as you can see, thrift store prices in my area are still very cheap. I'd say like the 1 hour bubble around my house, all the prices are pretty much the same across the board. There aren't too many that are overpriced or asking astronomical prices for things that aren't worth it. Now, once I get outside, like in 1 hour bubble, the price will definitely drop up, especially in the Metro Detroit area. There's a couple thrift stores out there that I have marked off on my map, like just not to go to at all. And I'm gonna pop up a picture of my Google map. This is the Google map of the state of Michigan where I live. And I also have mapped out like Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, states that I frequent. And so if I'm in a certain area, I can pop up my Google map, see if I'm near an area that has a thrift store that I can pop into really quickly. So I was at an estate sale a few days ago and I missed out on a Magnolite roaster. I went over to the counter and I started looking at the flatware, and it looked like really good flatware, so I was really intrigued, and I felt somebody come next to me and I heard the pan, like the lid kind of rattle in the pan, and I looked over because I knew it was a Magnolite, and it was a vintage one. The one that I picked up isn't as vintage as others, so if there is a P after the numbers, those are the more vintage Magnolite roasters. So I don't know how big this one was, but I did end up picking up the small pan that goes with it. It's like a small Dutch oven, so I need to get that cleaned up and listed. But Magnolite is definitely something you want to keep an eye out for. They sell pretty quickly and for really good money depending on how clean it is and what size you have. So definitely check the solds for Magnolite. And I kind of feel like I want to do a different type of video next week. I'm not too sure exactly what type of video I want to put out. So if you have a suggestion, throw it down in the comments. I will put out like a normal garage sale or thrifting video next week. This video is coming out late, even though I told you guys I would not be late with my videos. This week was, again, a crazy week, and I wasn't feeling the best at the end of the week, so I did not feel like filming this outro. So I'm actually filming this outro on Saturday and releasing this video on Saturday. So if there's something else you guys would like to see from me, let me know, whether it's like a shipping video or how I prep my items to get them ready to list. Although I have hired my daughter recently. I talk about this a lot on my other social medias, but I don't think I've mentioned this in any of my videos here on YouTube. Maybe I have. I hired my daughter. It's been a month now, and my sales are up 96 point something% after hiring her. So basically she drafts all of my listings. Well, I'd say like 90% of my listings. So I no longer have to prep my item, take pictures, get my listing together. Like, she does all of that for me. So I have a lot more time to go out and source new items. So it's working really well for both of us. She has more flexibility, being able to work from home and go to school full time, and I'm able to go out and source more, even though shipping is kind of taking up more of my time just because I'm selling more items. But I'm getting kind of good at managing my time when it comes to shipping and trying to pack my items up at night instead of packing them up the day that they are due to ship out early in the morning. I believe that's why my sales are up as much as they are, because of her help. So if you don't think that you can afford to hire somebody, think twice, because you might be able to. Again, my sales are up almost 100% after hiring her. So even with paying her what I pay her $13 an hour, plus I give her 15% commission on anything that sells that she drafted. So she's making really good money, especially off of the commission, and I'm giving her 20 hours a week. So sometimes her commission is just as much as her hourly pay, especially because we've been listing some big ticket items. But I'm gonna end this right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I really truly appreciate every single one of you who watch, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys on my next video next week.